Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 27th of April, comes to you from Chicago. And I'm here seeing clients and at a conference. So we start by looking at currencies, then global stocks. And we'll take a look at commodities and last of all some US tech stocks. So the dollar index still below the clouds, so we're just not managing to recover fully yet. Having a go here this morning is just trying to get back through on price, and we do have a sort of upside target, but no real signs that this is a bottom yet for the dollar, and we are hanging at this 99 level, which is pretty critical. You can see here over the last few months, it's taking us to really 6 month lows on the dollar. So the key thing is just when we will see a sustained move above the cloud in the short term. So dollar is still bearish in the short term, but of course the long term chart's still quite bullish. And we see here in the euro this holding on to the gains that we saw in the start of the week, just here at this 108, 109 level. But we are just starting to come under some pressure on the cloud here as well. So still downside targets here. Looking fairly bearish in the long run. Japanese yen, dollar is strengthening here, so yen is weak, and that's basically the yen is a risk-on trade. We've seen quite a lot of risk-off since the French election this week, so yen is falling, dollar is rising, and sterling has moved higher than the high we saw last week, so that's significant. We've got targets to 132. And 129.40, we're getting quite close to that 129.40 level now. We were above 129 this morning, but we're just back below there, currently at 128.89. Taking a look at the euro sterling rate, we see here that euro had the upper hand, but sterling has just got some strength today. And looking at Swiss franc, sterling is again moving higher against the Swiss franc as well at 128. Australian dollar, seeing 172, so that is showing dollar weakness, sterling strength. Looking at the US stock market, we see the S&P 500 did just sell off at the end of yesterday, just nudging this new all-time high at 2,400. We're 2,387 is where we closed, but above 2,400, which looks like it will happen, gives us a new all-time high. And of course, from a technical perspective, new all-time highs are good news. And if we look at Nasdaq, we did reach new all-time highs this week, so it's looking pretty strong. And the Dow also just testing this previous high that we saw in March, so not quite getting above it, but testing that level at 21,000. The Russell 2000 has actually broken out. We're just seeing here just on the day. Good to see a few days above that. If we hold this at the end of the week, that will look pretty good on the long-term charts, and we just see this marching up the hill. So US smaller companies doing well. And we're seeing the S&P future up just slightly, and the Nasdaq up 0.2%. So it suggests the market will open higher today. FTSE 100, we're seeing here is down today, just struggling to really put in that straight, steady performance that we saw on some of the other indices in the US, but the FTSE 250 has been marching up the hill, and US mid-caps looking like the real sweet spot still. DAX index is just moving higher, but holding on to the gains from the French elections, but hasn't really moved since, and the Nikkei is strong on that weaker yen. Hang Seng in Hong Kong is actually trending higher and breaking to new highs there as well. And the Shanghai index is actually still a bit bearish below the cloud. Will we find support here and rise? So it'll be interesting to watch that over the next week. Sensex, the Indian market, looking pretty strong, just pausing for breath today. And the Australian market, bullish on all three timeframes, moving higher. Looking at commodities, Brent crude sinking lower. We're actually below $51. So crude oil really looking quite bearish. Of course, this $50 level is quite key. A sustained period below there, 2 or 3 days below $50 would be bad for the oil price. So at the moment, crude oil looking pretty bearish. And WTI again sinking to new lows at 48.78 at the moment. And so again, 47.50 is the level there. US nat gas did jump yesterday quite significantly, but we are still just struggling to get above the cloud on the medium term, and there's no clear short-term upside targets, but the long-term targets are there into the 360s and 415 on the 1% chart. So that's quite key. Jumping straight to gold, we see here that we are just below the cloud, so that's quite significant. We're just not managing to get back into this bullish territory on the short term. 250 is the key level. If we break below 250, we unwind this 1371 target. So at the moment, we just are hitting some resistance on the cloud, on the point and figure charts. Long-term resistance is playing its hand, so we need to see a move above the cloud here. Silver, much the same picture, of course. And taking a look at US 10-year yields, 2.3% there. So we're just holding on to the bullish chart there short term. Last of all, some tech. Apple was down a bit last night, but not much. Bullish above all three time frames. Google has been powering ahead on this tax announcement, and at the moment it's nearly at its 887 target. That's another 2% away. Amazon is bullish above all three clouds, and Facebook has been touching new highs, one of my stocks, and Microsoft also leapt this week, so that's a breakout as well. So that's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.